is LDS, the single word, and also the font and the services at Gage Boulevard were the monument services, but this is the LDS, Mormon, later day Saints Mormon Church, and the stake, single stake, and also the stake services. President and Vice President Stakes Award, the division here in Lake Washington. The attributes on the services that they have are updated. The overlooking services for the railroad, which import-export for Japan, China and Japan, and also the India, and also the foreign relations and the services from the railroad system, which the railroad built up soil and also built material to put railroad to go over Moses Lake stretches, Congar, Lamas, Mashed Potatoes, Scone Connor, McCain's, Simplat, and all BBSI. The services they got, import-export services are providing here for Lamb West, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, and Moses Lake, and the services they have at implements on their services. The services they got downloaded on their systems and their recovery systems. We have different angles in the popularity services, and also the increments of the tree, original tree that's been on the Mormon Church since the Pilgrimage Age, since George Washington was elected president for, of course, the first president of the United States of America. And the services that they increments in the service of Mormon Church, which still stands here, but they're expanding for the parking lot, and also the services that they got for continue on for their service because of the tithing. The tithing that they have, the increments they have, is all the increments they have is services. And again, this is right on Division Main Street, and the services that they got. You can see it from eye vision from driving passenger or driver in the back seat. That's Carol J. Benzel. She's the judge for District Court in Othello. Mr. J. Felice, he's the attorney law firm in Othello, Washington, 190 East Main Street. Mr. of course, McKinnon law firm in Olive here in Lake Washington. Mr. James McGee and their services that they got. Mr. Cooney law firm. That's Jim Cooney and also Dallas Cooney, and there's much more other staff members on top of that. And they're in corporate services for the law firm administration office. Mr. Brandon West, he's a public counselor in Spokane, Washington. He practices law practices in Spokane, Washington. LDS Church is there as well. There is Sitica, and there is the Mormon Church, and also the major cathedral, Catholic cathedral, Gonzaga, Florence, Italy, and Gonzaga, and also the cathedral in downtown Riverside, Simon's Mall, can't miss it, and also the Simba statue, and that's a Chamber of Commerce. You keep on passing that in Riverside, downtown Parkside. There's services of the federal courtroom. You can't miss it. There is a cathedral, major Catholic cathedral. The Pope, and services. There's Father Tom, Father Dylan, Father Richard, and Father Cepeda, and he's stationed in Othello, Washington, and he's at the Sacred Heart Church, Holy Church in Othello, Washington, and that's on 7th. That's a Mormon church, LDS church as well. And there's Hummingbird, and Hummingbird is a Mormon church right by Jim Logan's house. That's on 11th Street and 645. Olympia and 11th Street is the Mormon church, and their services there are implemented to the Melchizedek Aaronic priesthood and the practices of President Hinckley and also Taylor, and also the archive services for the Mormon churches. And this church is represented. That's Jay Mueller, Amy Mueller, Mueller's agencies. That's Air Force, Marines, and also the Army, Navy, and Air Force, and also the Coast Guard. The recovery services, Mr. Mueller is United States Air Force, Mr. Frankie Musu is United States Navy, Mr. Bambach is United States Marine Corps, Mr. Darrell Johnson is Green Beret, the Army, and Kim Wayman is the Army, United States Army, and also the, of course, the mayor of Spokane is United States Army. Also, Gonzaga University, Mr. Splicer and Miss Korn back in the day. If Mr. Splicer didn't die yet, and Miss Korn's still alive. And also the services they practice for the Washington Bar Association. And their services they got here at the administration office is the add-on for the Microsoft program. That's Generation i3, the i5, the i8, and also the Generation 10 and 11. It's Microsoft. The Surfaces and also the laptops and also the Windows 10. You pay for that service one time, and their service you pay for that one time, and it's yours forever. And we're just generating and downloading to have it submitted and securely download and put on in position and archive. Mr. Carol J. Benzel, she practices her services. There's a judge that had 25 years in practice. He was a lawyer, now a judge. And Mr. John Cooney, he's a lawyer, judge, lawyer, and his son, Mr. Jim Cooney and Dallas Cooney are lawyers now. One's malpractice, one's like hit and run. Like I get hit on hit in division. I was hit by a vehicle by a white Trailblazer, a four-door SUV, and the four-door SUV was I was ran over in the crosswalk. So when I cross this crosswalk, it seems like I have to do therapy every 7 days a week. Go to the Gold's Gym, therapeutic, and the swimming activities. We got a Moses Lake outlet here. We got an outlet here, services here, the water lines here. We got an aquatic center, swimming pool, and access, and we got the compound facility, training facility out here. And we have a Richland and Kennewick training facility as well. And we got the Moses Lake training facility here as well. And the Mormon churches and services, our parking lot has been updated. And we're going to have the Temple of Justice. The Utah had a earthquake and natural disaster. They had a Google, Facebook recognition, Washington Bar Association. And their services at the Mueller Funeral Home, 1401 South Union, and also Greenlee Memorial, Mueller's Greenlee, Court Street in Pasco, and also Chapel Falls, Kennewick Avenue, and Dayton, Kennewick High School. And Kennewick High School, Southridge, and also Richland Bombers, and also Pasco Bulldogs, and also the Richland Bombers, and also the Hanford, and then the University of Washington State. That's Andy Miller at CO Benton, Washington. That's online, Washington Bar Association. And have everything pretty much updated and downloaded. The services they got bring the most sophisticated equipment on the market, and Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, Motorola, and Singler, and the contracts and services, activations fees. You just come to the desk, the main office. That's Ajmer Singh Nijjar, 715 I say Bank Fire Restaurant Bar and Motel. And mother and father, he wants $1 million. He wants another 80,000. That's Grandpa Kandar, Jasmine, Mandeep, Kandar, and also Ajmer Singh Nijjar, and mother and father, grandfather, grandmother. She's at the she's gone away, but the services, she's moved up in a higher position now. Grandfather and grandmother, Sandy Strong, the commissioner, Mr. Eugene F. Pratt, and also the judges in the Chief Justice Department in the District 1, District 2, District 3. There's a grounds breaking at 7112 West Okanagan Place. Andy Miller at CO Benton, Washington. Scone Connor Wash Potato is updated their system. This is the Church of Jesus Christ Latter Saints, Moses Lake, Washington, Stake 1515. Singlets Award, Stakes Award, President, Vice President's Award, and contributes the suffering of the consequences of the natural disaster to Utah, Boise, Northern California, and also Pismo Beach, Oceano, and Apple Beach, and also all the front lines for the Navy Department, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. As I mentioned, Frank Comisco, Navy, Mr. Senator McCain, John McCain, Navy, and also Barbara Bush, and of course Mr. George Bush Sr., Hubert Walker, Bush and the administration office with that. Now we're digging into the grounds of the Senator Senator John F. Kennedy, and the bodies and the enactments of the services are redone, retouched up, modified, re-downloaded. Information on it can't be removed. It's on recognition, eyeball, swipe, and it's protecting their services. Now we got a gust of wind coming through, and the wind is coming through. Stratosphere, and also the clouds are coming through. There's some snow packed on the mountain ridge, and tornado came down in the Washington State, and also the earthquakes and fault lines. Andrea's fault lines in Pismo or Shadow Beach, or Shadow, there's a fault line. A bulldozer pushes all the sand in to backfill all that fault line in, so people can cross into the beach to use ATVs, quad runners, and also 4x4s, and go on the duties on the other side for recreational activities. But there's a natural disaster. It's going to be 35, 45 days to get over this sickness that people's getting over with. But apparently the sickness services are USS Comfort, USS Chicago, USS Washington, and also USS Comfort, and also US Los Angeles LAX International Airport, Import-Export, Military Disputes and Services, and that's USS Arizona, and so forth, USS Pennsylvania, Virginia, USS Norfolk, and also the services and increments, the services for the Navy departments, and also increments for the services that contribute for the services for the Mueller's Funeral Home at 141 South U, Mid-Columbia Library, and the Mid-Columbia Library in Othello, Washington. Mr. J. Felice, also Mr. Carol J. Benzel, District Court Judge. He's moving her better popular position now, and her increments are surviving this increments of a service. Brandon West, his law firm in Spokane, Washington, on post, and there's Mr. John Cooney and Jim Cooney law firm here in their services at Indiana and George Washington Street. So Mr. Steve H. Sackman, family law, Mr. Tabler Schultz, there's Natalie, there's Chadwick, and there's also Reagan. And their services they be practicing in there. George Washington House, I'm sorry, number 42. Next door is 56. That's Tabler Watts, that's Freddie Core, that's Melissa McKnight, Larissa Perez, and City Hall secretaries in Othello is Bonnie and Yvonne Hernandez. You can't miss it. So these increments are on 7th Street, Mr. Cepeda, Father Tom, Father Dylan. Their contributes in service and monuments and their services. The Trump there's a Trump on the top. There's a golden figure with a Trump, and that Trump's in Richmond, Washington, and that's headquarters. Gage, and the Trump the golden statue came down. So it's gonna be updated and downloaded. It's coming to you live.